Hello and welcome back to another FPL video. Now today we're going to be looking at an updated draft, and with less than a week left to go until the Premier League kicks off, that Fulham versus Arsenal game, we're going to be looking at making some final adjustments to the team, making those final decisions in this coming week. And without further ado, don't forget to hit that subscribe and like button, and let's get straight into it. Right, so firstly here we've got the defence. Obviously we've got McCarthy and Nyland in goal. That is definitely staying until game week 1 basically. I've decided that those two are my goalkeepers. For a while I did have the sort of rotation of McCarthy and Ramsdale. However, realistically I was only actually going to play Ramsdale for a couple of games up to about game week 8, which is when I plan on wildcarding. So therefore in that time I don't think it's worth spending an extra million on a goalkeeper that's only going to be played twice, and McCarthy at 4.5 mil is a very good option. It is a shame, or a bit of a shame about Nyland. The fact that Aston Villa have now signed a new goalkeeper means that Nyland at 4 mil won't at least be able to start the season because he could have at least played game week 2. Then looking through the rest of the defence, and I've changed this around a little bit. I did have Thomas in there for a while. However, with Leicester's new signing of Castagna, it's less and less likely that he starts, and we probably know that Justin will fill in for that Pereira spot until Pereira is back. So play Justin until sort of game week 3 when they have a nice couple of fixtures against West Brom and Burnley, and that would be great. Obviously Trent's in there, that's a solid nailed on pick. I'm not going to be changing that. Now Mitchell has come into the team. He's played basically all of pre-season, and with Riedwald and Schlupp now playing in the midfield, he's almost guaranteed to start up until Patrick Van Aanholt recovers from injury. And hopefully by the time that Patrick Van Aanholt recovers from injury, Nathan Ferguson will also recover from injury. So that means Mitchell will be a nice little easy transfer over to Ferguson, who's also 4 million. And hopefully if that happens by sort of game week 5, that would be perfect in terms of rotation of fixtures. Now you may notice that there's no Vinagre in the team. I've had Vinagre in a lot of my teams previously. That is basically because, you know, with the signings that Wolves are bringing in, I just don't want to have the doubt of potentially Vinagre not playing. And even if he starts the first couple of games, we don't know, maybe for one of the, you know, easy fixtures he might get rotated out. So I've gone with Saiss in there, the extra 0.5 mil guaranteed starter, and I've also gone with John Egan. He'll play the first kind of 3-4 games and then probably get rotated out to another Wolves defender. And now here we move into the midfield, where really the big hitters in my team are, we've got Aubameyang and Salah. Aubameyang, the plan really for him would be to play him for kind of 2 weeks, the first couple of fixtures, and then swap him down to De Bruyne. We've also got Armstrong in there. Now I do like St. Maximin for the first games. However, the fact that I'm thinking of bringing Armstrong in, I feel like I may as well just start with Armstrong, as yeah, it could potentially just be a little bit of a waste of a transfer, kind of transferring St. Maximin to Armstrong. Bit too much of a sideways move for me, especially when I have like much more pressing things to do, especially when the season starts. You know, you can plan it all out, but when the season starts, players can get injured, players can get sent off, and just generally when we see what players' forms are actually like, I'll be wanting to bring in other players. Anyway, Son, he's basically going to stay in until I wildcard. I'll be very happy with him, even if he doesn't have the best couple of like first few game weeks. Son's a player I've learnt to just, you know, give him a bit of time, bit of patience, and he will return for you. And Kai Havertz, I've managed to fit him in. When he got released at 8.5 mil, I had Zykin before. Finding that 0.5 mil was tough, but I've managed to do it. And Havertz, yeah, he's a great pick for me. Potentially a little bit undervalued. We don't know who's going to be taking penalties, but you'd guess it would be between him and Werner. Maybe they'll have it on a little rotation basis, but for 8.5 mil and basically a guaranteed start, I can't really see Mount starting over him in many games unless he's absolutely knackered. It's likely going to be more rotation between Pulisic, Ziyech, Mount, you know, Hudson-Odoi. Werner and Havertz for me are the two absolute staples up front, and even Pulisic as well is banging in the goals as well. So you never know, you could even end up doubling, tripling up on Chelsea because they do look like they have great value this year. Then we move into the attack, and we've got Davis, Richarlison and Mitrovic. Now waiting to see on Callum Wilson. I know Callum Wilson is getting transferred to Newcastle, and basically Richarlison is a 2-week punt, so it would be Aubameyang down to De Bruyne and Richarlison up to Jimenez for game 3 when Wolves have that lovely run of fixtures. Now Davies could go to Brewster depending on if Brewster gets a move. If there's a bit more chatter, then I might just change Davies to Brewster because we've still got a month left on the transfer window, and I don't particularly want to be changing to a player, swapping out a 4.5 mil player for another 4.5 mil player. So if he gets talked up a bit more, then I think I will definitely be having Brewster instead of Davies. And they've got Mitrovic, who has got a pretty nice first 8 game weeks. I plan on playing against Arsenal, and for the first 3 or so game weeks, he definitely could pull a Pukki, or he definitely couldn't. He's very, very high ownership at the moment. So if you wanted to go for someone else, you know, a bit more of a differential, maybe Che Adams, Jordan Ayew, those guys. But Mitrovic, you know, he's been in the Premier League before. He had an absolutely banging last season, and I think he's going to be a good option. So if you have enjoyed this quick little first draft updated video, we've got less than a week left till the Premier League starts, so if you could subscribe to the channel, it would really help me out. Don't forget to hit that like button, and I'll catch you in the next one.